of World Unity Week and the 99 Days of Peace through Unity. Day 3 already. And I have the great honor and privilege to sit down with a very good friend and somebody of Unity Earth, somebody who we look up to and respect enormously. His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Aziz Al Nuami of the United Arab Emirates of Ajman. Dear brother, welcome to World Unity Week.
Thank you, Ben, and you are also most welcome. I'm so honored to be here this afternoon at our time. I don't know your time, might be in the evening, so we hope this talks will be very fruitful and will be useful for all of us.
We're very excited to sit down with you as a global leader in the environment and also in the intersection between faith, spirituality, and environmental crisis. You are such an important voice in that space. And today is devoted to water as part of eco-governance and the 7 foundations of life, Sheikh Abdul Aziz. And of course, water is something about which you are and your family is very, very passionate and has a lot of interesting and projects. And so as we begin today, let me just give a brief introduction to you for those who may not be familiar with you as yet. Sheikh Abdul Aziz Al Nuamini is a member of the royal family of Ajman in the United Arab Emirates. He is environmental advisor to the government of Ajman, executive president of Al Ihsan Charity Association, and a member of the trustee council of Ajman University, affectionately known as the Green Sheikh, whose name is linked to environment and sustainability. Once again, Sheikh Abdul Aziz, it is a great honor to have you with us in World Unity Week. And we are yes, and we are actually this week, Sheikh Abdul Aziz, we are beginning this journey of 99 days of peace through unity. Peace through unity as another way, rather than what we have tried so many times of peace through superior domination and strength. So peace through unity is an important initiative over these periods of time. And I know that we also have our brother Jonathan Granoff, a Sufi leader, who is giving us every day one of the 99 names of Allah as we go through and journey through these 99 days. But it's very, very important. So as we begin today to sit down, I really would love for you to introduce a little bit about yourself, your work, and your current projects.
Sure, Ben. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Abdul Aziz Al Nuaimi from the United Arab Emirates. I'm passionate with developing the community, also bringing faith together, passionate with the environment. All this comes through education, comes through traveling, comes to experience from different levels, from NGOs, from government perspective, from as well as business and humanitarian. There are many things to talk, but I will make it short. There are 2 areas I'm focusing right now. One through Al Ihsan Charity Center, which is the Al Ihsan Association, that's helping people. And when I say helping people, is not just giving them the fish, know how they just know how to use the tools and to fish the right fish. So that's Al Ihsan, putting last first. When we say putting last first is putting those people who have less fortunate, orphans, widows, single mothers, who have some challenges, struggle in life, and they are residents or locals in the UAE and need sort of assistance medically, education, settlement, these things. We empower them. We try to find a solution. We try to be on their behalf to bring their dignity, freedom, and also stability in their life and sustain them. So that's one of the areas we're focusing on the community. The other thing in terms of Al Ihsan, also we are using sort of methods of water. We use water as a charity. What is charity? Is endowment. So we have spread water in many buildings free of charge, so people can have access of water. Any people, rich people, poor people, any who passing through the road or passing through some buildings, some areas are far away, they can have access. So we can have build refrigerators and also a source of water. So these are coming from philanthropists, coming from companies who support with us the partnership and to provide fresh water to the people, and even in different temperature, which is cool temperature. Plus, we have two areas we can also support water through Africa and also through Asia. Asia, especially in Indonesia, we deliver or we organize with some other charities in Indonesia to drill wells that could be sustainable and sustaining community for schools, for housing, for medical facilities. So we open up wells, even in Africa as well. So these are, we coordinate with other charities around the world, Asia and Africa. Those water is a source of life, and that's one of the charity for Ihsan. We say blue Ihsan, blue for the water, and Ihsan is making excellence and making good living for others. So this is one of the area we are putting in Al-Ihsan. One of the work we are working also is building a service of medical and health. So we also have a capacity of 50 beds who can treat less fortunate family, especially women and children who can be have no insurance, having struggled with their debts, with their income. Financially, we have to support them for their medical treatment, medical surgery, and these things. So we also provide hospital and also medical treatment through our charity, because we have a staff from nurse, doctors, volunteers, and also paid doctors to help us and to really make this community in a better conditions. So these are focusing in Al-Ihsan. Other is the other work I am also doing, and some projects with GSA, Green Sheikh Academy. It's not just working for me, it's working also for the community to transform young generation to be good leaders in their community and their environment, and also to be a responsible leaders, how they can serve through volunteers and through a different capacity we provide as a platform to serve the country. So these are things that I am closely focusing on Al-Ihsan and the transformation of the training, exceptional building new leaders who can lead and can serve the communities.
Thank you so much for that, Sheikh Abdul Aziz. And I have had the pleasure and privilege of visiting your project in Ajman, the hospitals and the charity Al-Ihsan, and seeing firsthand the incredible impact that you have. You're very humble about it, but these are large-scale humanitarian projects that really are serving the most needy in Ajman and in your part of the United Arab Emirates, where there are many migrant workers. And there are many people who would normally perhaps slip through the cracks that are existing. And your work with Al-Ihsan is providing a safety net, as you say, for single mothers, for migrant workers, and for the most vulnerable. So people should know what an incredible organization and operation that is, serving the most needy people in your community. I wanted to, and it's brilliantly run. In fact, the doctors there, and I want to make this point. The doctors who are working and the nurses and the medical professionals that are working with this organization are so proud that although it's a charity, although it's there to serve the poor and the most needy, they are proud that the service that people are getting is as good as, if not better, than in a professional, high-paying medical system. So tremendous leadership. And then with the Green Sheikh Academy, the mentoring that you do, the trips that you do, the training that you do, the impact that you have on young men and women is just absolutely amazing. So yeah, we really, really do bow to you and your good works, which are far more, I think, than people realize. But let's talk about water, Sheikh Abdul Aziz, for a moment, because today is dedicated, our whole day is dedicated to water. We have indigenous elders following this conversation that are going to be talking about restoring the right relationship with water. I think it's fair to say that we, as humanity, have used and abused the water resource. We have taken it for granted, and now we are approaching multiple crises. So, how can we collectively re-establish right relationship with water, Sheikh Abdul Aziz?
Sure. One of the verses in the Quran, the Holy, even in the Bible, I'm sure there are certain verses or in other scripts in the Holy Book of in other scripts, but in the Quran, out of water we made every living. This is so powerful verses. Out of water we made every living. The water is a medium that's connecting us. You know, it's connecting the sky, connecting the ground, connecting the ocean, connecting our bodies. 71% of our bodies, 71% mean the earth itself, 71%. So we are our body resemble the earth. So if the earth is sick, means my body is sick. If I have got affected in my body, mean the earth is being affected. So these are a mirror, and imagining they are connecting. So that's why in many traditions, hadith, even in our faith, I'm sure in many faiths are the same, indigenous and the other scripts, don't waste water, even if you were at a running stream. Even you have running stream, a river, don't waste the water. Water is so priceless and precious and sacred. So when I say about relationship with water, you know, we have to look up to the world population, especially the region where are very, I can say, fragile. North Africa, West Asia, we call it WANA or MENA. When I say WANA is West Asia, North Africa, or MENA, Middle East, North Africa. There are some changes of country, but in general, they are really struggling. This is one which is representing the 41% of the world population. And the population lives in this region. They are really underwater stress, like Northern and Central Africa, Middle East. Even the water supply is much less than the global average, which is 3.8 tons per day. If we see other countries, the footprint is about 6.8 tons in the United States, and even might be some other countries. Even in the UAE, we're consuming a lot of water. So again, the water is something is very powerful, and how we have to look at it from different perspective. Let's see, one small round planet, which is the Earth. You know, what goes around comes around. It has a cycle, life cycle. The water comes from the sky. It's not coming just on the ground. The sky through the cloud, through the rain, and there's a life cycles. So this how life cycle, how are we going to really control? So there are safe resources from the upstreams, downstreams, how we can increase efficiency, how we can really produce optimization on product, how we can use less these technologies, how we use the treatment of process into the agriculture, the power possible use, because it might be 70% of the water being used is abuse. 70% of use because of the water being used, abused, not being customized, I mean of optimized, not being efficient, not being, there are a lot of abundance of extra overflow that be leaked or being evaporated or not being capturized. So I think these are so important things: saving, recapturing, controlling, treatment, efficiency. All these together have to take care of the water. And the water, restoration of water, the world restoration, the meaning of world restoration, we talk about innovation, how we can bring those companies, innovation company, bring the best solution, the creative solution that to help more sustainable water. Because the water itself, how we can save, we need technology. How we can optimize, we need technology. So those projects to reduce the strain on freshwater resources, especially agricultural, and changing the way of the mindset. Because also the consumption is about behavior change. People are consume water. I think it's for granted. They take a shower for half an hour, 1 hour, depends. So how I can use my water? Is it half a liters? I use 1 liter, 2 liters a shower, or half a liter if I want to do washing. So there are certain amount of water I can use and consume, but this need a behavior change and discipline. Again, it's a culture. So these projects, if we increase the resilience of our freshwater service or systems to deliver the benefits of people and nature. Most of the water is either go to the people resources, to be used, or to the nature to be abused. Then again, using less water in agriculture with some technology, with artificial intelligence. There are many ways and many possibility can be done that to support the environment, culture, and even recreational use, like, for example, resorts, golf courses. Their usage of a lot of water, swimming pools, how we can save water with these projects. Improving wetland, for example, and riverbank habitat to deliver more water to sustain biodiversity, fish, wildlife, and populations. Those all together, the natural habitat, and even can reduce the erosion. The water erosion also has a problem, and we need to recharge more water to make that balance. We have a lot of struggle, we have a lot of challenges, but we need science, technology, collaboration, and also understanding. It's all about people, not technology. When people can talk to each other, this technology is easy, but people talking to each other is not so easy. It's very complicated. There are faith, there are politics, there are power, there are many things. Technology is easy, it's machine, but people, very complicated, unfortunately. Bring two people, two brothers, two sisters to talk, even they disagree all the day. So again, it's all about people. When we fix the people, we can fix the planet. It's so easy.
Very good, very good. Well, World Unity Week, there is a lot of different groups here, Sheikh Abdul Aziz. Many different cultures, many different communities, many different passion areas, many different ideas, and this work of harmonizing and learning how to talk to each other. In fact, the key is learning how to listen to each other and really understanding the other. And as we get better at that, you're so right. The other challenges become, we're far more equipped to deal with them when we have our own sense of unity in our communities and our tribal communities being able to come together and understand each other and respect each other. So with that in mind, I want to ask you, because you are also you're also a spiritual leader and a faith leader, as well as an ecological activist and influencer. I want to ask, how can we better build global networks to become a real system of influence, to better steward the earth and all of life? How can we do better than what we're doing? What are the challenges that we're facing? How can we overcome them? And how can we build a true global grassroots community that can become a true system of influence on the planet?
I'll tell you a secret, Ben. Don't tell anyone.
Okay.
Children. They are the secrets.
Right.
They are the hope. They are the future. So we need to transform the technology that with education, through their capacity, to their intelligence, to their digital world. So we need that social media and transformational education to those children and youth. They are taking part. If you sit with old people, they won't tell about future. They will tell you about the past. But the young generation, they die for future. So the key is the youth, children. That's why when I put Maryam, my daughter, she will take over. She will become in position. Your children, our children, they are the hope. They are the future. So give them the chance. Listen to them. They have brilliant ideas. They are so intelligent, but sometimes we don't give them the time. So I think one of them, the children, the youth, transformation of education, and also political soft power. Political soft power. We don't need force. We need soft power, dialogue, listening, networking, lobbying in a good way. And that's what we're doing here. World Week Unity or World Unity Week. This is a global influence. Very simple. We have beautiful and mindset of indigenous people, of high intelligent people, from faith perspective, from technology, from human being. In this platform, we have so powerful people. They have so strong spirit, even when they raise their hand to God, to the Creator, and ask for power, ask for help, ask for good for this planet. It will happen if we all together in one hand, in one heart, in one mind. We can move mountains. Believe me, we can move.
Amen.
So this is the capacity. You have it, Ben. I have it. All the ladies here and gentlemen and people are behind us. They have faith. Why are we doing this? Because we have pure intention to make this better living, not for us, for generations. I want to think about 150 years, 200 years, about generations to come. I won't live to Mars. I want to go to somewhere else. I want to live here on the earth, but to keep the earth as the best. I won't leave to somewhere else to live. No, God created us on earth, and we will die on earth. We will resurrected on earth. Nothing else.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. So we're with you, brother. We're with you. We feel the spirit of your call and your faith, and it's such a gift for our whole community. Let me ask you about water and faith, Sheikh Abdul Aziz. Is there a correlation between the faith that you have and this foundation of life, which is water?
Water is a medium of purification. All faith need purification. Before purified first the soul, not the body. Purify the soul through water. The Christians, the Jews, the Hindu, the all religion, indigenous, all the Muslims, before prayers, they have to be purified through water. Baptism, wudu, making so the water is so powerful. The water is a medium of a memory. If we talk to the water in good way, if I have a water, for example, and I make reciting of the Quran, say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, all contain the memory of what I said. The good ones come to me, going to be active. So it has a power of memory. So all the faith, whatever in this earth, has linked with water. Water mean clean, purified, mean power, and also can destroy you and can power you. So the faith is the element of making you clean, pure, and cleanse. And that's what faith, even in tradition of Islam, it need to be balanced between a man and between a woman. H2O, between a male and a female should be a balance. With two, because H2 is two human beings, the male and female. When we say O, the circle O is circle of life, how we bring those males and females together in our circle of life, because it is the center of love. When you see love, O is the middle of love. This is the circle of life. Without love, there's no life. Yeah. This is how faith together. We have to love each other, respect each other, understand each other. Even we have some differences, that's fine. This is how we learn. Without differences, we can't learn. It's becoming boring. So you have something, I have something. These are being gifted to you and to me.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. You know, yesterday, Sheikh Abdul Aziz, I had the pleasure to sit down with our mutual friend, Gidon Bromberg from EcoPeace, and I'm going to play out that conversation in this session. But the work that EcoPeace is doing in the Middle East with the green blue deal is very profound and far-sighted, and water is a key component. Water and energy. So I'm interested in your thoughts about the water and the sharing of water. People are concerned that their wars will be fought over the water resource. Do you see it as an area of conflict or a potential for a new kind of collaboration?
It is both, and depends on the intention. If we have good intention, we come to the collaborative side. We're coming for pure intention, and not pure intention, we're coming to the other side, the conflict. But I feel comfortable with collaboration, because the collaboration is really making others people win-win situation. This is how we can achieve. Believe me, Ben, all of us, and this is the truth. The conflict between good and evil till the end of the day, till the end of the hour will happen. We cannot stop, it will happen. But how to be a good on the area of good? Let's be the good angels. Let's be the good angels.
That's right. That's right. The indigenous have the story of the wolf. The bad wolf and the good wolf, and which one are we feeding? That's such a powerful and perennial story.
True. And the wolf has a so beautiful convey when they go in a journey. They put the first three the first 3 to 5 wolves in the front, old people and sick people. I mean, old wolves and sick wolves in the front.
Yes.
In the middle, the strongest one can protect. The front can protect the back. And the leader will be the last to see the whole, the group of wolves together and connected.
Yes, very, very good. Well, I wonder if we have Anna Marie Verhoeven here from the Hague Center. Anna Marie, like Arena, was with us on our journey to Jordan in February 2020, where we got to meet you and Miriam, which was such a blessing. I wonder, as we finish with the Green Sheikh, because he has a busy day ahead of him, we're going to play out the interview with Gidon Bromberg now. So please stay with us if you can. It's an incredible conversation what EcoPeace are up to. But Anna Marie, did you have a question or a comment for our respected brother here, the Green Sheikh? Let me unmute you. Oh, 1 second. Anna Marie, try now. Try and unmute now, Anna Marie. You're a co-host.
Yes, okay. Well, thank you, and so lovely to be here and really inspired to listen to you. And I really remember us being together especially this moment at the Dead Sea with your daughter Miriam, also dancing and playing and really listening to the music in this profound setting that we were at that time. So that really fills my heart. And I'm wondering, I totally can align with what you're saying about the importance of listening to the youth, the children, and to see how we can have this intergenerational or co-generational collaboration. And I really would love to see how we could take a next step, because as Ben was sharing, we're seeing this World Unity Week as an arc to Peace Week in September. And I'm wondering whether there is anything that is already happening in your context in the Green Sheikh Academy that we could really tap into and work together with to further improve the practice of listening to the youngsters and giving them the power to come up with their suggestions, how we can serve their further development.
Yes, I believe that, Mary. I really look forward to see what sort of collaboration, because the young generation, they're not interested to listen, they were interested to see. Don't tell me, show me. So I think even our programs like this, for example, to associate the children with us so they can have a platform, a window they can share, a window they can dance, a window they can draw, a window they can create. So we are all adults here. I haven't seen any children. So might be in another stage, we bring them on board to be with us, so they have sort of window and they can express their feelings. They express what they imagine how the future will look like. I agree totally, and I have no problem with that. So Ben and I will think about sort of collaboration we will do. Might be this year, next year, we don't know, but I would love to. I'm open to that.
Wonderful, wonderful suggestion, Anna Marie. And Peace Week, Sheikh Abdul Aziz, is in September, 3 months away. We have an opportunity maybe to take another step with the Green Sheikh Academy and bringing some children from Holland, from Australia, from America, from the Middle East to come together and have this dialogue would be tremendous. So let's follow up about that. I want to be mindful of your time. Thank you for being with us. Do stay and listen to Gidon Bromberg if you can. But otherwise, are there any final messages or anything you would like to say in parting, brother?
I would like to initiate a youth call it Climate Angels, Youth Climate Angels. We can collaborate because the coming COP28 will be in the UAE next year. So I would love to bring the best of the best from the youth around the world and be online or to be present in the UAE to participate and to hear their voices about climate. So we call them angels, climate angels. What do you think? Think about it.
Yes, yes, yes. We love it. The COP28 is going to be in the UAE in 2023. What month is that? Do you know?
It will be November.
November next year. So we have time
Yes.
to work on this. We love that vision. Let's collaborate around this. Let's do what we can to bring that together.
Beautiful.
And
Excellent. I would love
thank
that.
you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for bringing your light to us, and
you.
blessings on all your
Thank
work
you.
and the family, brother.
Thank you. Wish you all the best. Take care.
God bless. God bless. Friends, stay with us because yesterday I sat down with Gidon Bromberg and had recorded a tremendous interview about what they're doing with the Blue-Green Deal. These are 27 years that EcoPeace has been working in perhaps the most challenging context, well, certainly one of them in the world. And so I'm really excited to share it. We won't be able to show the entire interview, but we'll show the first 25 minutes, and the rest of it I will publish online. But here, over to Gidon. Enjoy this. Well, welcome. This is definitely a great honor to be sitting down with the founding director, really, of EcoPeace, and the Israeli director of EcoPeace, someone who's known well to the Unity Earth community, the one and only Mr. Gidon Bromberg. Gidon, welcome back to World Unity Week.
It's wonderful to be back, Ben. Excited about all of the events that you're organizing this week.
Yeah, there's lots of different stuff going on. And of course, we have different themes across the week. And today's theme is all about water, which is wholly appropriate. And for those who may not know, we first got connected to EcoPeace. Unity Earth was connected to EcoPeace back before 2020, I think, through Rabbi David Rosen, who connected us in preparation for what became the Holy Land Living Water Journey in February 2020, where we were fortunate enough to bring almost 100 spiritual leaders and indigenous leaders and change makers across Palestine, Jordan, and Israel. And we were hosted by the amazing EcoPeace, which has got organizations in all three of those spaces. And of course, the Israeli director is Gidon, the Palestinian director is Nada, and the Jordanian director is Yana. And together with the teams, were able to host us across that 7 or 8 day journey, which really changed a lot of lives, Gidon, and learning about your work and the incredible, delicate, sophisticated, brilliant ecological peace building that you've been, I think, 27 years now, if I'm counting correctly. It's very inspirational, but delighted to have you back here. You did a beautiful presentation the first year in 2020 in June, and a great presentation last year. And we're all excited to hear what is going on, what's new. We see articles, we see Thomas Friedman writing about you guys are going from strength to strength. Whole EcoPeace has gone stratospheric, which is wonderful. But we're looking forward to hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. Gidon, what's new this year? And let us know any ways that we can support or help.
So thank you, Ben. I want to also highlight that the inspirational week we spent together around the Jordan River was a two-way street. I mean, we were so empowered by the 100 or so different faith-based and spiritual leaders that introduced also a new perspective for us as well. So it really was mutual, and it remains very, very deep in our mindset, having influenced the way that we work and the way that we see things moving in the future. So we're grateful for the cooperation that we've had, and as you've just said, we look forward to more cooperation with the Unity Earth community and its additional communities to help us make a difference. So what's happened in the last year is quite amazing. The progress that EcoPeace has been able to achieve has been described as groundbreaking. And first and foremost, it's the publishing of the Green Blue Deal, that EcoPeace released back in 2020. And now in November of last year, the signing of a declaration of intent between the governments of Israel and the governments of Jordan to be financed by the UAE, whereby the two governments are actually implementing EcoPeace's vision of creating healthy interdependencies. So those of you that have been to Jordan certainly note that it has vast desert areas, and EcoPeace identified the vast desert areas of Jordan as holding the potential to produce large-scale renewable energy, mostly solar, at prices that are extremely attractive, about half the price that can be produced in Israel and Palestine, and at scale, because of the vastness of the desert areas, that are unmatched compared to the Israeli and Palestinian sides. On the other hand, the Mediterranean coast of Israel and Gaza is about 100 kilometers from the major population centers of the region, with Jordan's capital being the further east, or its second major city, Irbid, being furthest east, and the Mediterranean is roughly 100 kilometers from those major capitals. While Jordan's alternative to desalinate seawater is 3 times the distance to Amman and 4 times the distance to its second major city, and therefore the Mediterranean holds the comparative advantage to build desalination plants and supply the needed water to meet the climate crisis for Israel, Palestine, and Jordan. And the declaration of intent that was signed was this creation of healthy interdependencies, where, for the very first time, Jordan would have something to sell of great value to Israel, and Israel has something of great value that it wants to buy, being the renewable energy from Jordan. Now, that agreement has been described by both the governments of Israel and Jordan as the most important agreement signed since the signing of the peace treaty between the two countries back in 1994. So the importance of this signing, we'll know in the decades to come, but it's for the very first time that we're creating healthy interdependencies, where we're able to meet the stress of the climate crisis on the one hand by producing more renewables, reducing our greenhouse gases, and increasing the manufacture of water in our region in order to meet the declining natural rainfall and the implications of that being less and less natural water being available. No less importantly, this is about climate security. We well understand that the climate crisis destabilizes economies, destabilizes the political situation in our region, which is already such a volatile situation. And by creating these healthy interdependencies through cooperation, well, not only do we improve water, the availability of water on all sides, and reduce greenhouse gases, but we also create trust between our various communities. And we, as we've experienced over these close to 3 decades of EcoPeace, when we create trust over our shared environment, it spills over to trust on other issues as well. And therefore, we see perhaps, the first steps where truly, grappling with the climate crisis, instead of becoming a threat multiplier, is more and more seen as a necessity, an opportunity for cooperation and peace building.
It's just extraordinary, Gidon. It's so inspiring. The the green blue deal. So you envisioned it, and I've heard you talk about it as sort of akin to the post-World War II in Europe, where the great powers came together over steel and coal. So this incredible vision. It's one thing to have an idea, but to actually, be in the process of manifesting that, particularly in the environment you're in. So tell us, it's been signed by both the Jordanian government and the Israeli government. Take us through that process. What were the challenges, and how did that come about to actually get those signatures?
So it's been a long journey, and of course, at Equipeace, we've wanted to include the Palestinians from the outset in this arrangement as well. We well understand in our part of the world that there's no generosity, unfortunately, that the level of violence and animosity is so high that people, the sides, act according to self-interests, and therefore, we had to identify very clear self-interest for each side as to why they would want to take the risk of being dependent on the other, because that's what it really means. It means that Israel will become increasingly dependent on her neighbor Jordan for her electricity, and Jordan will increasingly become dependent on Israel for her water supply. And to change that mindset of being willing to be dependent on the other required lots of evidence showing the necessity and the self-interest, and we're able to achieve that based on hard science. We're able to achieve that by showing that Israel can't meet its Paris climate commitments unless it buys renewables from a neighboring country, Jordan, Egypt, or further afield, because there simply isn't the land mass available to produce sufficient quantities of renewable energy within Israel itself. And on the other hand, we're able to show to Jordanian decision makers that being dependent only on desalination from Jordan itself in the Gulf of Aqaba would make their water supply so expensive that it brings into question whether the Jordanian public can afford to buy water at sufficient quantities to keep the Jordanian economy flourishing. So first and foremost, we speak to self-interest because that's the only language that in the midst of deep conflict people are willing to listen to. But by design, our self-interest lead to mutual gain, and that was something that was thought out very deeply right from the beginning. We're now in a situation where we're also heavily trying to move forward on an Israeli-Palestinian water energy exchange, and we hope that in the coming months we're going to see some real breakthroughs and perhaps even a signing of the government of Israel and the Palestinian Authority. And here we're very much focused on Gaza and meeting the water and sanitation crisis needs of over 2 million Palestinians in Gaza. As some of the audience well know, that Gaza has faced tremendous humanitarian struggle, completely due to the conflict, where sewage wasn't being treated, where there isn't sufficient natural water to meet the basic drinking needs, the basic domestic needs of the Palestinian population in Gaza. One of the solutions that is desperately needed in Gaza is to build a large desalination plant on the Gaza coast, but there isn't sufficient electricity, even once the desalination plant is built, to run the desalination facility. So with various partners, including in this case the European Investment Bank, we thought that the way that we can try and create the way that we can meet the energy needs of Gaza, but also to create healthy interdependencies, is to try to get the government of Israel, particularly the military, to allow for the building of large-scale solar facilities in Area C of the West Bank. So, the Palestinian Authority is divided between, or Palestine is divided between the West Bank on the one on sort of the east, and Gaza on the Mediterranean coast. And Gaza is very crowded. There's next to no open spaces, but the West Bank has significant open spaces, and certainly sufficient to build some large-scale solar facilities. We're talking only about 200 megawatts of renewable energy that would be built by the Palestinian private sector with the support of the European Investment Bank, with the support of the American government, perhaps also the support of the Islamic Development Bank, and then transfer that electricity across Israel, because Israel is in the middle between the West Bank and Gaza. So it requires cooperation, and then supply that electricity into Gaza that would run the proposed desalination plant, but also other wash infrastructure of sanitation and the movement of water. And the good news is that in principle we're hearing from all sides of a willingness to discuss this deeply. And again, it's not out of being generous. It's out of a sense that the climate crisis requires water security needs to be met, that the deteriorating water situation in Gaza and in the West Bank threatens stability in the region. It threatens national security interests of both the Palestinian and the Israeli side. And what we're placing on the table will help strengthen water security issues. So we're very keen to move forward, having seen the breakthrough on the Israeli Jordanian side, to now move forward on the Palestinian Israeli side, and create the same sort of measure of healthy independency, trust building that is so desperately needed between Israelis and Palestinians.
Oh, Gidon, it is so tremendously inspiring to hear about those plans that are in place for building, continuing to build the trust between the Israeli side and the Palestinian side. We know that the three spaces are really what make up eco-peace. I want to go to the Green-Blue deal again for a moment. You talk about utilizing self-interest, in this case, the nation states, and being grown up and very, you're in a part of the world where misty-eyed naivety doesn't last very long, and doesn't yield results or dividends. So 27 years, the skillful means by which you are achieving these outcomes is just extraordinary. But I just want to understand, the nation states, in this case, Jordan and Israel, have signed up to this Green-Blue deal. What's the role of private enterprise, and how do you leverage? I imagine that the governments haven't committed to do the entire investment themselves, but they're opening the space for private enterprise to come in and to fulfill these grand projects, large-scale projects. Are you working directly to stimulate entrepreneurs or businesses to step forward, or are you leaving that up to the governments?
No. So right from the outset, we understood that we'd be more powerful when coming to our governments if we had the private sector already committed or expressing their real interest to invest. And what our research showed was that there's the potential investment of over $7 billion from the private sector to invest in the renewables and the desalination. The beauty of the advance in technologies in these recent times is that because of the advance in technologies, both solar and desalination are profitable enterprises. Renewables in our part of the world are the cheapest way to produce electricity during the day, cheaper than coal, gas, or oil. And therefore, the private sector is rushing in, of course, to invest in these fields. Similarly, the cost of desalination has plummeted from about $2 a cubic meter about 2 decades ago to to under 40 cents a cubic meter today. And therefore, manufactured water is now being produced at comparable prices to natural water, because natural water also requires electricity. You need to pump it, you need to move it. The proposal that we put on the table between Israel and Jordan is very much a proposal attractive to the private sector, and the private sector continues to be behind the scenes, eager, pushing our governments forward, and that's part of the secret to the success as to why this moved forward as quickly as it did. On the Israeli-Palestinian front, because of the extent of the conflict and the extent of the poverty on the Gaza side, not everything can be led by the private sector. The renewables can, but the desalination would need to be subsidized, and this is the role of the international community to make up the difference, so that sufficient water resources can be supplied to the Palestinian population in Gaza at reasonable prices. But there's no question that from the outset, we identified the private sector. We went and presented the Green Blue Deal in New York and in London and in LA, in Berlin, in the Gulf, and in the end, it really was the Emiratis that stepped in, even actually before the Abraham Accords, quite eager to invest here, again, not out of generosity, because they saw a tremendous profit potential for their investment, particularly in the renewables in Jordan.
Okay, fantastic. So they've actually, from the UAE, have come forward with some resources to help facilitate the Green Blue Deal going forward. Can you tell us a little bit about that investment that they've made, Gideon? What's the role of the UAE?
So it's a UAE government corporation called Masdar that is keen to invest. We're talking about building a 1.3 giga solar facility in Jordan. It's a game changer. That's a major power station with the potential to go as high as 5 giga of solar power. I want to highlight also another major success, if I may, before the time runs out, because our strategy of focusing on self-interest has also attracted major attention just this last week, with the report out of the Reuters news agency that the population in Gaza has gone back to swim in the beaches of the Mediterranean off Gaza. And that report brought tremendous satisfaction to everyone in Ecopeace, because for the very first time, or for the first time in a decade, there's some good news to share about the situation in Gaza. When was the last time that anyone heard good news coming out of Gaza? Well, we're pleased that we've helped to contribute. And the reason why Palestinians this summer, for the first time in about a decade, are able to swim in cleaner beaches again is much due to the cooperation, the environmental peace-building efforts that Ecopeace has led. One of our earlier programs was
we're going to stop that interview there, and we'll complete this first plenary session now, stopping the